put all your DJ money and your DJ fees into the label. If you don't do it, you will not survive, you know. So that's my secret. I put a lot of money, private, like own money, into the label, and that's the only way to survive now. It's like, but I know a lot of small labels. They're run by, you know, friends and families, and you do your home office and try to survive. You know, you can't make money out of independent dance labels anymore in 2010.
It's not a capitalist venture, I can assure you that.
I think running a record label at the moment is a labour of love. There's very little money to be made.
And to be fair, it always has been, because like with Soma and some of the new labels we're doing now, like the new one, Paragraph, it's more about, we've never really seen it as being something that's like part of our problem. I guess it's not a problem, but like we've never really kind of like looked at things and thought, how can we capitalise on that, or how can we just kind of, you know, with Soma we've always put as much back in, you know, we've always put stuff back into the label,
all and more,
and the label is you know, okay, we get paid for doing some of the gigs or whatever, but you know, the label is, you know, as Orde said earlier, it's a labour of love.
When you do things with people that you know, and they will put attention to your work, well, it's very important, you know, you do the music, then you release it, you know, and you want your work goes in the right places, you know, and with good friends and good people, always is been working well.
I think you almost just don't need to worry about it. I think you need to, like, you know, focus on, as long as people are just focusing on making some sort of decent music, and then, you know, put it out there and see what happens. Like, people will get into it in the way they want to get into it, but as long as there's some kind of soul and heart and substance in what you've done, then if your song's really good, it should sound good on YouTube, it should sound good in the club, it should sound good in the radio, it should sound good streamed. You know, I think those are the sorts of things.
For me, when I'm making records, I just want the most people to have that music. You know, it's not like, I was never thinking, oh, wicked, we should sell this at this price and we can make this much money. I was always like, it'd be wicked if everyone around the world had it. That's why we want to sell more records. So if we could give it away for free and make a way that we could afford to get income because there's staff in the office working, then that would be amazing.
If you're just passionate about what you do, I think people can sense that, or people you know, get that from you. And it's a difficult question, because you know, the blunt truth of that the answer is we don't really know.
No,
we just
there's never been a plan.
We're not really kind of, you know, schemers. We just kind of do what we do and hope that other people like it, you know. And it's we've always just kind of followed our nose, and you know, kind of whether what we think's good, or
and,
you know,
it's been a successful and unsuccessful in equal measures.
Yeah.
I used to run a record shop in London called Final Addiction, and I did have a serious final addiction, but I've managed to cure myself of it by complete withdrawal by moving to Ibiza. To be honest, I've got so many records that if I could just go back and pick a few out that I hadn't heard for years and get a thrill from them. So, I mean, now it's mostly digital.
It's like that kind of digging for music. Like back in the day, you'd go to maybe record shops, second-hand shops, record fairs, mail order, and I guess it's still always been in my nature to dig for music. So the crate digging has become like online digging, I guess. So you checking out blogs maybe, or what other people are posting stuff.
The whole record shop community I thought was a vital part of the dance music community, of being a DJ. That whole thing of going regularly to a record shop or a number of record shops and having relationships with the people working there and discovering new music from recommendations, from reading reviews in magazines was a great way to find music.
I used to get sent like piles of vinyl through the post every week, and now everybody just emails their tracks to each other, and all the musicians do it kind of directly between themselves as well. It's not really, you're not being hounded by kind of DJ promo agencies and stuff anymore. I really, really like that. You know, I think people send me a track and be like, oh, I'm just working on this remix or whatever at the moment, and here it is if you want to. And So it means that it's very, very easy to have music that other people don't have, and very, very new music and stuff to play when you DJ and things. So yeah, a combination of people sending me things and me going out looking for things.
You used to get records to the post and you'd look at the cover and go, no, I don't like looking at the cover.
Don't like that.
You know, so like you throw it away and go, I'm not going to listen to that. But now you just kind of, you know, you can't really tell because it's just this kind of like, you know, generic kind of promo thing that comes through. So you know,
Yeah.
and I always feel like kind of left out if I don't listen to things. You know, I've kind of that way. Like I used to hate going to a record shop and not hearing every record. So I've got to almost spend that time where you have to hear everything to decide what's good. And the problem is from that is like putting the time aside to kind of sit down and go, yeah, that's good, that's bad, or whatever. You know.
I think it's fair to say also with the onslaught of the digital medium, people can make music very quickly and get it up on the site very quickly.
I actually think it's made it harder because loads of artists, because there's so much stuff, loads of artists that might be doing really good stuff actually can't get through. I can't get their music because there's too much music. It gets lost in this like void of internet music. So in a way, it's kind of become harder. In another way, it's cool because someone on the other side of the world can now get music to me. So again, there's like pluses and minuses.
Had to accept it as a reality, but I like music as a physical thing, and it's lost that to a large degree. I know there's still some DJs out there who are sticking to vinyl, but few and far between. And now, without music being on a piece of plastic in a sleeve with artwork and images you can get your hands on, it doesn't seem quite the same if it's something much more ephemeral and much more temporary. And it's easy to. I lost over 200 gigs of music recently on a hard drive that crashed, and I was gutted, but then it never really existed anyway because it was just little dots on a little disc. So yeah, it's changed, and in some ways it's sad, but that's that's technology. It's taking it to another place.
For us, it has more poignance, like having a kind of a tangible product and buying something. But for someone that's like growing up now with new music, they don't have that point of reference. So I guess for them, it doesn't really mean anything. I think everything kind of falls into place. I think now there's more people making music because it's easier to make music, and I think that's a really good thing. I think that's a revolution that people have fought long and hard for, because sort of 10, 15, 20 years ago, people had to book a studio and pay money. Now they don't need that much equipment to get their ideas across, and I think generally that's a good thing,
On the other hand, you don't have any record labels to filter any of the stuff, so you tend to have to do a lot of the filtering yourself, whereas record labels would have done that in the past. They acted as kind of quality filters. But, I mean, even back then, you were saying, that in many respects held the business back. They had a kind of stranglehold on what was released. So it's a kind of, swings and roundabouts.
Something, especially if I go and look for it and then download it and don't pay for it, I will then play it on the radio and tell people how great it is. Maybe they'll probably just go and download it for free as well, but not much I can do about that. So, I mean, it's sad that a lot of artists aren't getting paid. We pay, at Sonica, we pay the Spanish Performing Rights Organisation a monthly fee, but I really doubt that a lot of that actually filters down to the artists who deserve to be getting it. We're doing what we can using Mixcloud, for example, where you have to publish track listings. We've stopped making our shows available for download because obviously nobody gets, the artists won't get paid for that. We only post things online now with full track listings and on sites that are paying performing rights.
We cannot stop it, right? But it's in another way, it's a good way to promote. I see this. It's balanced in that way,
Oh man, I've had a mad one this week. Like, I started a new label and I decided that I didn't want to do promo on the label, and so about 1 million websites. One website in particular decided to run a front page story saying the reason I started this label with no promo was to stop piracy, which is crazy because as soon as a record comes out, you can pirate it. But because that website said it, in one day, the whole world of websites was saying it, to the point of CMU in America, which normally does reports on Britney Spears, has a front page thing about Jess Rose is trying to stop piracy. I don't give a shit, bootleg my label, I don't care. We didn't do any promo and stuff because we just want to put the records in the shops. It's kind of now everything's overhyped. I was pressing up 200 vinyl on it. If people want more, they can't have more.
I'm out buying records every week, and I know that if I don't buy those records the day they come out, they sell out, and then you've got to buy them on eBay, and they're really, really expensive. So people love music, and they're obsessive about it in all sorts of different kind of ways. I think there are small little groups of people that will keep all these various different things alive because they absolutely love them.
Personally, it's in a way it's a shame because it's ruined kind of an idea of what we wanted to do, was the excitement of going to a record shop and finding a record that's not written about in magazines, or going to Beatport or wherever you go and finding a track which has not been written about that you can find, and in a way that was the point of it. Everything's overhyped and written about, and this was this label we were going to do where we might just put out something that's a really simple drum loop just for people to put in the mix, but now it will probably get more focus.
The situation for me has been, the more that people have downloaded my music and shared it or whatever, the more records I've sold, the more I've toured all over the world. The more and more that happens, the more things seem to take off for me. So, if you can look at it as it's just oh no, someone's downloaded my music and someone else has had to pay for it. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, I think it's not worth worrying about so much, and it's actually getting my music out there a lot of the time.
Of course, it's not good for the business, but in the same way, in another hand, it's good for promotion, because people listen to your music. For example, in Japan or in South America, the people don't have so much money and don't have vinyls or shops or whatever. For them, they can listen it.
Yeah, there are countries that I've sold 25 CDs in, and I'll go and do a show there and there'll be 2,000 people and they'll know all the songs. So Scandinavia, Spain, places like that, the sales now are just absolutely minimal, really, really, really small in lots of parts of Europe, but there's a huge audience for the music when you go out there and stuff. So
I think it's a great time now because there's a lot of anarchy and energy in this kind of internet and download stuff, and it changed the whole world of music, how to marketing music, how to promote music, how to sell music, how to buy music. So I think we live in a great time because this is a big revolution.
No one really ever thought about the internet as being this kind of device which could have so many possibilities, or it's talk about freedom of speech or freedom of expression or whatever. And I'm sure there's really wrong things on there, but no one ever could have thought about how vast that would be or how massive that would be. It's been a complete revolution which no one had said we're going to stop that. I know in China they've kind of banned Google and they've done other things, but that it's just not possible now. It's all out there. So
piracy is wrong, kids. It's wrong. Don't do it.
Yeah, buy Soma Records.
Buy Soma Records.
On limited colour, expensive
buy Soma
vinyl.
MP3s.